make it 3.
Going for the St. Louis now.
Oh, no.
Son of a bitch.
You get your 2?
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course. And today we're going to take a look at some jacuzzi battles. Yes, these have been added into the game for the weekend. Obviously part of an event here, and it's RuinBerg In Jacuzzi. Now, I really enjoy these battles. This little sort of game mode, I guess, they've got going on. I think it's great. It just reminds me of, you know, being a kid again. Playing around in the bathtub, only this time we have some actual ships that can fire. Yes. On a side note, some of you might have noticed a comment a few days ago from Pootahead mentioning about this crazy Russian music in the game with the accordion and going on, and you know, like I said, you know, I have my music turned off, but I figured I should probably, because you know, when I was playing this specific mode, I wanted to turn it up, turn the music up and the sound effects up, just because I wanted to see, you know, what else was going on here that would add to maybe the immersion of the game. And so I did, and I heard that Russian song. And at first, I gotta tell you, I was like, yeah, this is awesome, doing a little dance to it, right? Like, oh, yeah, great, listen to that go. And then about 10 minutes later, after I realized that it was, you know, about a 30-second song that is on an infinite loop, I quickly hated the song. quickly did not enjoy it. And it's one of those songs that is very easy to get stuck in your head. I actually have it in my head right now, and I can't get it out. Yeah, it's pretty great. Anyway, thanks, Pootahead. Now I know what you're talking about. Alright, so getting back into our Jacuzzi Wars. So obviously there's a number of different ships here in our Jacuzzi Wars, right? Right now I'm in the Japanese boat, which they've called the Poke Boat, or Poke Boat, which is hilarious. They've got the Germans, which is the Das Boot, which is also hilarious, or Das Boot, I guess. And then what's the other ones? There's the Russian one. It's like a Scrapio ship or something like that. And then the American one is something like Bottle Ship or something like that. Hilarious. Another thing I really enjoy is every time you fire, if you have your sound effects turned up loud enough, every time you fire there's like a little squeaky noise or like a little sound effect noise, which I just love. I think it's great. Now, on all of these ships, there are torpedo launchers. You get one torpedo launcher. It is out of the bow of the ship, which is awesome as well. 8-kilometer torpedo range. Your torpedoes reload in an incredible, really incredibly fast. You also have, you'll notice I've got my speed boost here. Now, these are the first few battles I've played in this mode, and I didn't fully understand or didn't fully look at like the different options of my ships, right? Like, see right there when I tested out the torpedoes, that was one of the first times that I realized, oh, they're on the front. anyway, this is a really awesome game mode. At least, you know, I find it. It's a great little distraction, right? And I mean, obviously now you start with well, it's not Captain Bad Advice who's your captain on this ship, it's the little fish. I don't know if the fish has a name. This is sidekick anyway, it might have a name, but anyway, that's the sidekick, so that's your captain on the ship. Now, it does start with 3 captain abilities, so you can quickly, you know, get yourself some quick captain abilities there if you want, and then obviously it, you know, as you play more battles, you'll gain a little more experience. Now, because it's an event that's going on, every victory that you get, not only are you going to get, you know, credits, and I think, no, you don't get any free experience, do you? I'm trying to remember. I don't think you do. But you definitely do get credits, and more importantly, you get flags. Yes. A number of flags, modules to add on to your ship just for getting victories in these battles, which is great. And that's another thing about these battles that are so awesome, is that, you know, there is strategy going on here, but I mean, who comes into this battle playing seriously? I know at least I don't. I came into this battle just like, ooh, look at the colors. Look at all this. They've got ducks floating around, there's some octopus, there's a little boat there, we've got some frogs, right? That is what I was looking at. And what I was more concerned about, I wasn't really concerned about the strategy and all of this. Basically, you know, just go in and have some fun is what I was looking to do. That being said, though, obviously if you do, or if you or your team manages to get a victory, you are going to get yourself a few other nice things in terms of flags and consumables that you can add onto your ships, which is always great. Even if you lose, you're still going to get at least 50,000 credits for the loss, which is nice. You know, everyone has something they're working on in ships, right? So having some extra credits, always a good thing to have. Now, in what was it? I forget. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna. I think it's in the next clip coming up. Anyway, I was wondering, you know, like what the whole strategy is here for this map, because you know when you start up, it was kind of confusing because the enemy already has a cap, you already have a cap, and well, I had to cut it there. I got a call. Anyway, yes, like I was saying, I'm trying to figure out, you know, what the strategy was, because the enemy had a cap, you have a cap, you spawn right next to the enemy cap, so it's really easy to just charge in there, right, and grab the cap. Look at this, though, a little showdown with this guy. He launches his torpedo at me from the bow. We do manage to take him out. I didn't get the kill. One of my allies saved me, but still. It's so awesome. I love the idea, too, of launching the torpedoes from the bow like this. Now, I know historically there are a number of ships in-game that you were able to launch, or no, actually they're not in-game as of yet, but there are a number of ships that you are able to launch torpedoes under the waterline from the bow. One of the biggest examples would be, you know, the Nelson class battleship. That had, I think it was, I want to at least one torpedo launcher in the bow. It might have had two, like a dual launcher there in the bow, but it did have one in the bow at the very least. And I hope that when the British battleships come out, that is something that Wargaming retains. Maybe, you know, make it a little more, or, you know, maybe something to differentiate some of the British battleships from the other battleships we currently have in game, right? I think that'd be cool. And in this specific mode as well, the torpedoes, getting back to those, they're really, really quick, right? They just sort of, you know, zoom through the water. You've also got a really quick reload on them, and it just sort of plays into the whole cartoony aspect of this game mode, which is really, really awesome. I know that we've talked about it already, but still really enjoying it. So there's 4 caps, right? 4 caps in this game mode, and you got to try obviously to you know, to kill the enemy ships and to cap the bases there, so you can get your team some points, and that you can obviously win. Once you win, you get a better credit bonus. You get all those modules and flags that we talked about earlier. So it's pretty great. I mean, even if you lose, I lost a number of these battles. Doesn't matter. It didn't bother me at all. Just coming in and you know, taking a look at the map, taking a look around, see what's going on, I was having a ball. Anyway, that enemy, I think it was a poke ship, or pokey boat, did manage to sink me, but whatever, doesn't matter. We'll switch over to one of my allies here just as the battle continues along to play out. I think this one is the American ship, yeah, the bottle ship or sheep or something, whatever they call it. Another cool thing about these ships as well is you'll notice when they are in port, we do see Captain Bad Advice spawn on the ship in various places, just sort of running around the ship, doing different things, and I thought that was a really nice touch on Wargaming's behalf as well. This ally here that we're looking at now, though, he is smoking, and this is sort of what made me realize, like, hey, look, maybe I don't need to have those speed boosts on my ship. Maybe I can go and change it and get something else there, right? Like, this guy obviously has smoke on his. I never actually went back and changed it. I just completely forgot. I just wanted to jump into battles and just keep playing this game mode, basically. Enemy torpedo is on its way in. Oh, that was tragic. Does end up hitting our guy. I just find it so hilarious to have these rogue torpedoes running around the map here with the 8-kilometer range. I should have looked, or at least I don't remember how quick they go in terms of knots, the speed of the torpedoes, but we know they're fairly fast. Anyway, we have 4 ally ships versus these 2. And we've got my ally making use of some cover here, right? This giant frog, which is I think it's pretty awesome. And Jacuzzi Wars, though. I mean, well, I'm calling it Jacuzzi Wars. I know it's RuinBerg In Jacuzzi, but Jacuzzi, really, I think they should have went with like bathtub. something like that. Because this is a bathtub setting, right? If you look around, look at the pictures on the wall as well, which is great. My first battle, I spent the first 2 or 3 minutes just looking around, just looking at the. Oh, this guy was AFK. It was tragic. But anyway, just looking at the level, what we've got going on, and when I saw those pictures of Captain Bad Advice, it's so awesome because, I know one of them, Captain Bad Advice, is just, smiling, drinking a cup of coffee, or drinking whatever he is. He's a sailor, we'll say drinking rum. The expression on his face just looks so hilarious, right? It's Captain Bad Advice. He looks hilarious. It's just... he looks like a drunken sailor who may or may not have a crack addiction, right? And it is hilarious. You've got the wargaming towel in the background. I think they could have pulled off Bathtub Wars with this, but oh well, we'll go with Jacuzzi anyway. So we're taking a look at the Das Boot here, which is also hilarious. Loving the puns. Anyway, he did, get sunk here, and I believe our team goes on to lose that battle, but doesn't matter anyway, as we can see another battle has popped up. And I'm back in the Russian ship, the Bathy ship or something like that. I got all the victories on all of my ships, except this Russian one. For whatever reason, I just couldn't get the victory with this ship, but whatever. Doesn't matter. What I really enjoy about these battles as well is just sort of the way things escalate very quickly. And I mean, these ships that they've given us here aren't slow, right? They make good speed. And then if you couple on top of that the basically unlimited boosts that we get. I know it's not unlimited, you get 100 of them, but honestly, are you going to use all 100 in one of these battles? I haven't even gotten close to using like 20 of them, but anyway, you get those, and so you can really scoot around the battle here. Quickly as well, you realize how small this map is, because at first you sort of see it and it does look fairly large, right? But obviously it's, a jacuzzi or a bathtub, so it's not actually that big. And this leads to the battle really escalating fairly quickly and sort of making these jacuzzi wars a little more interesting, at least for me, I find, because when I'm playing this battle mode, I'm not in it to win, right? I don't really care. I'm just here having fun. You can see the stars that sort of shoot off whenever you fire your guns here. Here's a question though. When I was going through this, I was wondering, I basically fired high explosive the whole time, but I was wondering, I mean, should I be firing armor piercing? Is there any difference? I didn't actually look at the numbers on these ships because it was just so cartoony, right? It's like, bah, whatever. But I'm just curious if armor piercing might work a little better here against these guys, but I have no idea, obviously. Anyway, I just love the little squeaks they make every time I fire. So great. We do set this guy on fire here, so now we got to turn. We're gonna go bow on, obviously, because we want to get a torpedo launched off this guy, right? There we go, torpedo is away. The poker boat obviously is going to be maneuvering against that torpedo. Luckily though, this guy is on fairly low health, right? He does narrowly manage to avoid my torpedo, but I've already got another torpedo loaded up. The poker boat's on really low health, and in fact, there he goes. One of my allies finishes him off, and now I've got a number of enemies in front of me as well. So this is sort of what I was talking about the battle escalating quickly and just making it more interesting for me anyway, I find. So we, this hasn't, the game hasn't been on very long at this point in time. Like it's basically has still just started, and here we are duking it out in the center of all these enemies. We have another enemy ship here in front of me, so I've already launched a torpedo at me. That enemy ship right there, yeah. The American ship just destroys me. It's done. It's over. But still, it was really fun. So I'm gone. My torpedo did end up hitting something though, so that was pretty great. I didn't actually manage to kill him, but did a bit of damage here, so my allies can swoop in, maybe do a bunch more damage. There he goes. He is gone. Fantastic. And just taking a look around, seeing what's going on. Now the enemies do have 2 of the caps, which is interesting. We'll take a, my team obviously is going to try and correct that. We are even in ships right now, right? 5v5, and there we go. The enemy just lost 1, so now it's 5 on 4. So that's not too bad either. But we do see off on the port side of this ally, right, that there's basically a full health enemy back there. So that might be something a little concerning here anyway. We can see even in the background just, you know, the windows with the clouds and the sun, which I thought is really nice touch, right? Because you can see that the sun is outside the window coming into the bathtub, which is great. I really enjoyed this this battle mode, if you haven't figured it out already. And just the level of detail too that we're seeing here in this game, right? You can see socks hanging up in the background. We saw the towel with the Wargaming logo on it. We saw the Captain of Bad Advice with his portraits. The picture of the little fish. Oh, I'm sure that fish has a name. It's just not coming to me right now. Oh well. Hiding behind the, like, you know, the big massive frog here in front of us, using him as cover. Oh, it's just hours of entertainment here, folks. You even have a house plant in the background. It's so awesome. Yellow submarine as well, we saw that. Has the Wargaming logo on it, obviously, for obvious reasons, but you know, still something cool there to see. And I like the, I know it's, you know, trivial, but I do like the actual border or base boundaries here, these little red buoys, I guess, that are floating around, more so than the buoys in the actual game. I don't know, I just find it looks better. Right? With those buoys in the game, they're larger, and I know it's easier to see, so, you know, obviously it's better when you're actually in serious combat, so you can quickly see where you are and where the boundaries are of the enemy base. But here I just find it makes it look a little more sleeker, because you don't have these buoys bouncing around in the water that people are driving through, right? Just looks a little more sleeker, I find, which is nice. It plays into this battle mode as well, I suppose. So another enemy ship is gone, so fantastic. We, the player here, you know, my ally, did manage to avoid the torpedo as well, which is pretty good. Gotta be careful there, especially with those torpedoes, and you gotta watch the ally torpedoes as well, right? I never got torpedoed by one of my allies in this game mode. I'm sure if I would have played more, I probably would have, but it is fairly tricky, right? We do see torpedoes just flying out from everywhere. So the torpedoes my allies launched at this guy, you know, none of them actually hit, but whatever. Put the fear of God into that guy. Now it's 3v1 right now, so hopefully we're going to win. And as well, something else I wanted to mention, even if you look at the minimap, you do see the outline of the various toys and animals in the jacuzzi, which I thought was another nice touch. Wargaming, you know, obviously I love ships, you know, having some fun with the Russian cruiser. I'm still fairly low in the Russian cruiser line. I got the Svetlana last night, but you know, I just love this game mode that they added here. Just something to change up the pace, right? Just to break the grind, put a few smiles on people's faces. Obviously, you know, it takes April Fool's and April Fool's weekend to happen and do this, but I think it was well worth the wait. This was a great game mode. And you know, on top of that as well, just the different bonuses that you get for actually winning and participating in this game mode. Obviously, excuse me, we'll take a look at the results here because the battle just ended. But I mean, yeah, you don't get any experience or anything like that, but that doesn't matter, right? It's about the credits, the bonus credits that you earned, and on top of that as well, it's about the the flags and different sort of prizes and modules, consumables that you receive for your ship, right? That is awesome. Anyway, you can see I'm going up there to settings because I was turning off the music because I had enough of that Russian music. But anyway, wanted to get this video up just so we could talk about this crazy new game mode. How much fun it is. So, you know, as always, leave any comments you have for me in the video comment section below. Love reading those and responding back to them. Hit the old like button if you did like today's video. Hit subscribe if you were not a subscriber. And as always, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.